Welcome to the Align Life podcast by yours truly, Dr. Tiffany. How about we get out that magnifying glass and look at every part of your life? The awesome, the suck, and everything in between. There's so much beauty in you. Stop being afraid of what isn't good enough and let's double down on what is together. It's about your truth and your life, aligned.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me back here. Today, the big, wide and deep topic about pain. Has pain pushed you into a smaller life? Whoa! That just about makes me stutter, makes my heart go pitter-patter a little bit. And not because I struggle with it myself, but in my practice, this is the key. Number one, admit it. Spend enough time thinking about how has pain affected your life? How has it made it smaller? What have you sacrificed? How stressed is your brain thinking about your pain? Not necessarily just sitting there watching Netflix, but if you sit on the floor with your dog, what is that going to do? If you go for a walk pushing a stroller, what is that going to do? Or goodness, maybe somebody wants to go down to the mountains to hike. Could you do it? What do you need to sacrifice in your life because of the pain? And is it normal? No, it's not normal. So first things first, spend enough time reflecting on what it is. Now you can see and be more aware of what it is, when it is, and how it looks. Because we either do one of two things. We're hyper aware or we're numb. So we become hyper aware of everything we feel, physically, mentally, emotionally, or we become totally numb to what we feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. Neither is ideal, as you could imagine. But we continue to do it because there's a purpose in it. We continue to take action in certain things because it serves us in some way, shape, or form. Might not logically make sense, guys, but that is why we do what we do. Because if it were easy to do something different, we would have done it a long time ago. But the key to this is beyond being aware and admitting where you're at. Now what? Like, what does my pain even mean? My X factor in my practice, chiropractic practice, is being able to see the secret that you might not even know about yourself and about your body and about your pain. And being able to uncover it and help you uncover it so that you can get to the root of the issue. Guys, we were not meant to live in pain. We're not meant to live, I say half-assed, but really, we're not meant to feel dim or to not feel good enough. We're not created to not contribute to society, to our family, to our community, to our mission, to our purpose, to the world. But if pain is making you small, there's absolutely no way that you can make the impact in yourself, in your family, in your community, and in the world the same way as how you could without. Because it's always pointing to something. Pain is the signal, the sign that your brain is trying to tell you what's going on. Your body is not even whispering anymore. It starts with a whisper, a nudge, a poke, and pretty soon it's a push. And then pretty soon, if we don't listen, it's like that Mack truck, bam, hits you. You're down. You're sick. You have a constant migraine. You blew a disc. You have stomach problems that you can't leave the house for. You have chronic panic attacks. Whatever it is starts different than how you see it right now. So if it's chronic panic attacks, something triggered it at the end. That isn't what the problem is. The dysfunction had been going on long before that. So how can I help you to not only help yourself, but then help your kids, help your parents, help your friends? Because pain is starting to look normal. If you look at the commercials on TV, they're driven around pain. If you look at ads at a hospital, in a clinic, they're driven around pain, whether it's physical or it's reproductive or it's digestive or it's immune. It's all rooted from the same place, your brain and your body. And somewhere, somehow, we have an imbalance. And in the process of those nudges and those pokes and those whispers, we didn't listen. So we just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, because we have what is very common in not wanting to disappoint somebody, not always wanting to communicate openly and honestly because we're afraid of what they may say, what they may think. Will they leave us? And so instead, we just stuff it and we keep it down and we stop expressing, whether that's through our voice, that's through our body, that's through sex, that's through singing. Expression is in so many different ways, shape, or form. But when we start to withhold our thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors and actions also change. And so now you can look at your life. Maybe you've been in pain 2 years, maybe you've been in 5 years, maybe it's been 40 years, and you can see how it's taken away your life. You can see where you are smaller because of it, because you're afraid. You might not want to leave town anymore because you might have your low back pain might blow up. And oh my gosh, if your prescription ran out and you didn't plan for it, it creates utter anxiety and panic. What if that wasn't a thing anymore? So what if, I love the question of, do you know what would be crazy? ? And you just start to write bullet points. You know what would be crazy? If I didn't have to take one prescription medication. Do you know what would be crazy if I didn't wake up with a headache every morning? Do you know what would be crazy? That I could have my period without having to take Midol, having to be on the pill, having crazy, crazy cycles. You know what would be crazy if I could be in a group of people and not have an anxiety attack. You know what would be crazy is if I could be outside when there's a combine harvesting and I don't get puffy eyes and my whole body shuts down because I'm allergic to the fall. I want you to start thinking about what would it be like if you didn't need to have all this crap. If you didn't need to think that it's normal, or maybe you don't think it's normal. Maybe you just are tired. Maybe you've totally lost hope in your body, in your marriage, in your family, in your money situation, in your purpose and passion, because you had so many days at the end of the day that you look back and you're like, man, that just wasn't that great, or that totally sucked, or, I'm kind of tired of thinking that tomorrow might be better. But it's your responsibility to never give up hope, but never stay content. Never give up hope and always look for solution. Never give up hope. And as you're looking for solutions and they don't seem to work, know that it was always part of the plan. There is always something behind the pain. There's always an emotion behind the pain. There's always something that you don't feel that good about behind the pain. Maybe it's old trauma. Maybe it's prior sexual abuse, that you didn't take care of that trauma. You didn't see a counselor. You didn't do the mental, emotional work that was recommended. Maybe it's trauma that just happened. You lost your job. You're struggling in your marriage. You're struggling in your relationship with your kids. You're not really sure what you're even good at anymore. You don't even know what you want to do or be. Guys, you can change it as you change your mindset. And knowing that there's something behind the pain should give you hope that there's other things to explore. And in my work of giving hundreds of thousands of adjustments by now, I personally see the transformation that happens when someone has hope and is willing to do something about it and has the right person on their team to help transform their life. That is chiropractic. That is how I practice chiropractic. It's not mechanical. It's not based on a joint. It's not based on a muscle spasm. It's based on what is disconnected in your body and in your brain. And when that happens, that disconnect transfers directly into your life. So where are you making decisions from? I say there's two voices. There's probably more than two, but the two that logically make sense. The head voice, and I call that the ego voice, the logical, get up and do something about your life voice. And the heart voice, the gut voice, the body voice. And I talk about these so you can start to listen to the voices and understand which one is speaking. The gut voice is you just know. It's intuition. It's your heart speaking, your gut, like that feeling. The head voice is more cerebral. It's what I would call the ego voice. Now, these voices aren't always with it, but right now, when we're looking at our body and we're looking how to discern what we hear and what we feel, you have the answers. What happens is when we're in a stressy brain, in a stressy state, and in a stressy environment, we aren't able to hear the voices. And we're definitely not able to hear the voices in terms of the whisper, the nudges and the pokes. And that's the message that your heart gives and that your gut gives. Making decisions. Indecision comes from wondering if it's right, wondering what people will think, wondering, am I being accepted? Am I pleasing others? All the ego thoughts that come with it. What if you made a decision from your heart? What if you made a decision from that voice and you trusted it? And it didn't matter if people didn't like it, but you communicate with love and say, hey, this is just what I need right now. This is what's going on. This is what I feel like I need to tell you. Because indecision continues this path of subconscious programming that is freaking stuck, right? You just like a hamster wheel, and pretty soon you're like in quicksand and you can't make a decision. You can't make it when you actually need to make it. So start to make decisions from the heart. Pay attention to where your boundaries have been overrun. And in this topic, it is nobody else's responsibility but your own. It's not your mother-in-law's responsibility to know where your boundary is. It's just because you didn't set it and then you didn't keep it. It's not your boss's responsibility to know when he shouldn't continue to push. No, it's yours to communicate it and keep it over and over and over and over. The people that don't like to stay with your boundary are people who have typically ran over it because you haven't said it. It's not their fault. Now it is after you've communicated it and you've had a choice consequence conversation with them. Then if those people keep pushing, you evaluate how much of them are supposed to be in your life. Looking at what boundaries do or lack of boundaries do, we are the ones that suffer. Our self-esteem suffers, our confidence, our certainty. And after a boundary has been trampled, if you're not clear in communication and you're not honest in your truth, you're going to feel guilt, regret, and resentment, and a whole ton of other stuff. Anger, blame, shame. Those are the worst emotions to feel. And those emotions will create dis-ease in your body and in your cells. And when I'm working with people like you, I see it. It's one of the things, one of the secrets that is under your pain. So how can you reflect a bit more? How can you step into your body and be grounded a bit more? How can you listen to your gut and your heart a bit more? Well, first you need to create white space. You need to create nothing. I know we're full of to-do lists. We're full of overdoing everything, overthinking, overdoing, overcommitting. And it's not worth a trophy for. It's not worth the badge because it doesn't affect anyone else but you. And you're the only one that knows what your body needs, what it wants. And you're the only one responsible for communicating that truth to the people who love you. So create white space, create time in your day, time in every hour, time that you don't have anything to do, or you get to do what totally lights you up. Because, let's get real. You might not even know what that is. This might take some time. When you begin to set time for yourself, you start to feel what you want and what you don't want. You start to communicate honestly. You start to make decisions from your gut, from your body, from your heart. Your life looks totally different. And your pain may not be a thing anymore. Your discomfort, your sacrifice may not be real anymore. So I ask you to do two things today. Reach out to me if this is you, because chiropractic is not about pain. It's about uncovering what is holding you back in your life. And that is what I kick ass at. Number 2, listen to your body. Understand what it's saying. You might miss a lot of the signals, but if you catch one of them where you never caught one before, it's worth it. And then start taking action on that. I am here to help you. I am here to create a safe space so that you can comfortably open the shell that's been protecting you for so many years. There comes a time in life that the Mack truck hits us in the face. And there's always a reason. There's always a lesson. There's always something underneath it that if we are patient enough to learn what it is, we will not make the same mistake. You need to have people around you that know that your body is totally freaking brilliant. It is totally brilliant. What it's doing right now is protecting you. And the longer it stays in protection mode, the more your life, your mission has been sacrificed and will continue to be sacrificed. And speak the truth. What you're feeling, speak it. Create white space for yourself. Feel it, speak it, and call us if you need help. Even if you don't need help, what am I even talking about? Make sure you find a chiropractor who's interested in elevating your life, not ridding you of the pain. Because when the secret is uncovered underneath the symptom, that is when you'll fly. That is when you will totally heal. So break up with your pain. Be done with it. Say, this doesn't have to be my normal anymore. Dig into what your body is telling you. Create some white space and go get it done because your life is waiting. It's worth it. There's people watching you. You're the role model for so many people. So now instead of go down the path that they're all going down, put that little light on around your head. You know that cave guys would wear? That's not how you say it, but that light, yeah, keep that on your head. Be the light bringer, be the pathfinder, be the trailblazer for those that don't know how to get there. You can be that. You don't need to be the people that are lost. takes full responsibility. And I know you can do it. I love you all.
Thank you for listening and following the Aligned Life podcast with Dr. Tiffany. If you love this and can think of anyone who needs to hear about it, would you mind sharing with them? Find me online at drtiffanyjohnson.com, where you can find out more about my memberships, courses, mentoring, and any upcoming events. To learn more about chiropractic for you and your family, go to htchiro.com and follow our social pages. I can't wait to connect with you soon, and until then, be you, be aligned.